Hi Leo, here's a general look at your solar chart for June 2016 and just a mention of some vibes that are affecting us all across the globe. So we've had a lot of Jupiter and Neptune, which I mentioned before as being kind of a bit dreamy, a bit sort of ambiguous. So there's a danger that we could be led up the garden path or build castles in the air or expand too far too fast or have overinflated expectations, and just failing to see someone or for what they are, warts and all. And that's the thing about Neptune, particularly, kind of dissolves and melts away these ideas or these ideals, and it can also mean escapism, and just kind of deftly avoiding or evading certain realities. It can be a little bit like that. On the other hand, it can be very mystical and spiritual, and connecting on the higher levels. So it doesn't work that well. It works well in the area of theory and the abstract, but it doesn't work as well usually on the ground. Now, having said that, we are going to get some of that this month because Saturn is now coming in to join up with Neptune to give it that kind of real sort of iron structure to it. Even though Neptune is very kind of like mists and haze and vagueness, at least with Saturn there, it will kind of maybe provide a container for this quite sort of visionary energy in order to kind of at least to contain it and then bring it into some kind of crystallized state, right? So there's a lot of dreams and idealizations wafting about, whether that's somebody leading us up the garden path and sort of painting things in colors that actually really aren't quite true, so lacking in clarity really, but coming in more and more in June, and then over a few months as well, up until October, we're getting Saturn connecting in with Neptune. I think that's quite good. For you particularly, that's been leaving things maybe a bit up in the air in the financial area or to do with property for quite a while, not being able to really kind of pin things down. Whether that's shared resources, whether that's buying, selling, renting, leasing, uncertainty in markets, of course, with the Pluto-Uranus thing doesn't help anyway. This ambiguous, vague energy, so people not quite knowing, do I go that way? Do I go this way? Is that person telling the truth? Is this person telling the, it really is a bit of a kind of a, it's almost like the Bermuda Triangle. So but this month is the beginning of maybe that more grounded energy coming in. It won't be avoidance is one of Neptune's things, but we won't dispense with Neptune completely. In fact, there's going to be a strong mix, like sweet and sour, chalk and cheese, energy, whatever else. Energy, well, you could say fish and chips, couldn't you? Because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and then chips are little sticks, aren't they? And you could build with the sticks. I suppose I think I am stretching a point here. Yeah, sorry, I do admit that. Anyway, moving on. So really, this is a period when there's a danger that we can be sort of sucked down the wrong path on something. But also getting things out of proportion and shooting ourselves in the foot. So at this time we have to strive to be realistic without being too pessimistic. There's a fine line, realism but not pessimism, and that can be undermining. That brings down our vibration. So there's that, and it means you don't throw out what has been sloggingly achieved in the past, but maybe there has to be some kind of adjustments, modifications in our thinking anyway, at least, And this is the time to balance that ultimate ideal of how we'd like it to be in a perfect world with what can be achieved within the parameters of where we are at the moment on this timeline. So those of us, those who say that we can rush ahead and make a major new step into a brave new world, haven't got their timing right. Partly because of this, and partly because of the fact that we have Mars going retrograde at the moment, and anything done in a major offensive, a major initiation into new things, into new waters and territories, really tend to backfire or go incredibly sort of slowly, and don't have that word fire in them. They don't have that real push in them if it happens under a Mars retrograde, and Mars will be retrograde until the 29th of June. So if there is like a major leap forward into major new things, or a major challenge or an offensive of some kind that comes to you even, then you can know that probably it isn't going to all explode into major stuff, because it was done under Mars retrograde. So this is the time for steadily driving forwards in a conservative kind of a way, in a almost like strategic sort of a way towards the goals that one wants to ultimately see achieved for one's country, for one's belief system, for one's self, for one's nearest and dearest, whatever it's about. And that's what I would say is the astrologer with the astrologer's hat on, right? Yeah, and so here's some Saturn Neptune suggestions, and that can be work towards something which is a good cause, or would serve the common good, or would serve your common good, because you are part of the people, the common people. So we all are, us humans, and this is a good time to be working on something like no major dramatic sort of denouements or anything like that. Just keep on working towards where you want to go. Also, this is a great time for working with art, working with music, working with meditation, spirituality, healing, anything to do, nutrition, to heal. Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food, and eating more fruit, and connecting with nature by eating more fruit. But no, it could be that, but it could also be connecting with the ethereal side of nature as well. With so much Neptune there, that would be good. And in other words, do whatever uplifts or refines your nature and soothes your heart, or kind of just absorbs you into something you really enjoy in a creative kind of a way. There's more on this Saturn-Neptune transit, which will be written up on my website. It was there before, but I've added some bits to it, so it'll be there again this month. Now, other stuff that's going on, the first week isn't a great time to see kind of, I don't know, authority figures or officials, or deal with bureaucracy. Or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's that your vitality takes a drop, your confidence takes a drop, and you just feel things weighing more heavily on your shoulders that first week of June. Also, there's a little bit of lack of clarity there as well. And then the very end of June, we have Venus opposite Pluto, so that's a time when there might be a clash with somebody in an intense kind of a way, or it might be that you are feeling things more intensely in a relationship, whether that is in your personal life or in a business type way, or to do with finances or property, that kind of thing that could be going on there. It's really fleeting, but it's worth a mention because Pluto is quite an intense, powerful energy. Okay, so other stuff that's going on is that we have the solar energy in a very chatty, friendly sort of area, so great for doing anything online, great for doing something within a group context, maybe making friends even, but also very progressive, feeling as though the ball's rolling on things and things are really starting to go forwards. Picking up speed, picking up speed, picking up speed. That's until the 21st. And then that's the position of the Sun. Also at the same time is Venus there as well. So Venus and the Sun are in the same place. Feel good factor with other people, feeling maybe supported by others, or others feeling supported by you, or maybe, you know, beginning to get to know people, making friends, or maybe the old friends come along, and there could be something that you've hoped for, or something that's been looked forward to for a very long time now is actually going to happen, is actually happening. So it can be that sort of feeling, you know, a very future orientated feeling here. Then Venus also rules money and property, so you may benefit materially through groups or friendships or people like social media, that kind of thing. Mercury is in an area to do with targets, goals, general direction in life, so lots of chit chat about that type of thing, or maybe paperwork, or indeed having to deal with officials and bureaucracy and red tape. That kind of thing, also to do with vehicles, travel and transport, it could be for some of you. And then from the 13th, Mercury comes into the same area as the Sun and Venus, which is to do with this connecting, you know, with this group, these others within this group, whether this is in a leisure type way, or in a business sort of type way, or in some other sort of way. A group with maybe very different ideas, a group who've got something around which they kind of orbit, that they got in common, right? And then from the 18th, Venus does move out of there and moves on into a very sort of background area where you're keeping your feelings to yourself, you're keeping your cards close to your chest maybe, or maybe you are connecting more in an introspective sort of way with your inner self, or with your higher self, or another interpretation of your higher self, you know, angels, guides, those on the very, very much higher levels, or with nature, the divas in nature, or the angels in the architecture, spinning in infinity. Whatever it is, you will feel this support there coming from them, this intuitive gut knowing coming from them, coming from through you from them. Or indeed, maybe it's not like that for you, maybe it's just your own intuitive gut knowing, which it absolutely can be. And then we get the Sun going in there on the 21st, and that is adding more, really highlighting that introspective, self-reflective area, that area where you just want to be, you know, leave me alone. I want to be more, you feel like you want to be more on your own, really. So you need that privacy, that ability to just kind of drift off without getting the jarring kind of interruptions coming in. Yeah, there's that. And then, of course, Mercury is still in this quite sociable area. So how do we kind of weigh that up? Well, you'll find a way. Maybe, you know, you just choose when to kind of show your face and stick your head above the parapet, and maybe when you don't. Then Mars is retrograde, as I said. Those of you born in the third week, or from 22 degrees rising onwards to the end of the sign, you're going to be feeling that most. Until the 29th, Mars is right down at the root of your chart, until the 29th, Mars is retrograde, but Mars is right down at the root of your chart, and this means you could be busier than usual because of family commitments, tribal commitments, or indeed just activities that you choose and volunteer for, or might be to do with property matters, place on the map. It could be to do with DIY, it could be to do with home improvements, it could be to do with extending things, it could be whatever. And more hustle and bustle on the home base. So maybe people come in, more people are coming in, and you being the host, or indeed you are being the guest with them in their place. So parents and parenting, that could also be emphasized. And then Saturn is now putting her put herself in a very strong positive angle to your sun sign, so you need to take responsibility for your creative talent, for your creative ability, whether that's being an entrepreneur, whether that is, you know, just absolutely believing in yourself, and then putting in the work, with your own creative ability. Or it might be with some kind of leisure activity or other thing that you really do like to do and you think that you might be quite good at, or maybe you're not even saying that to yourself, maybe you are quite good at it but you're not admitting it, or so letting that light, Leo, shine, and feeling it coming back, reflected back to you, you know, and just basking in that like the big cat you are, and achieving success with it, you know, but it'll be steady slog at times, or steady, just consistent going forwards. It's there until late 2017, and you can be very successful under this transit, but you need to put, as I say, you need to take the responsibility for yourself, and you need to get organized, you need to manage your time, and then yeah, you can have the freedom to frolic and play, but it's got to be kind of arranged, if you like. Leo is born the 1st to the 5th of August, or with 10 to 14 degrees rising will feel this energy the most this period. And then Jupiter is in the area of a piggy bank until September, so you know, there could be opportunities coming your way to do with money, to do with property, to do with your talents and you getting your act together, you really getting in gear there with taking advantage of this transit, because it doesn't come around again for another 12 years. So that's until September. So Jupiter was going to help you to decide, you know, what's of highest priority in your life at this time, and it's going to help you to think positively about what your innate talents are and how to make the most of, capitalize on what you have, what you know as well, your skills as well, your abilities, your general leanings in certain directions. So maybe you need to get trained up on something, and also what resources you've got, making the most of the resources you've got around you or within you. You Leos born the 5th to the 10th of August with 13 to 18 degrees rising, to feel that energy the most this month. And then I mentioned Pluto last month, but yeah, Pluto's in this long transit of your house of work and health, so there can be renewals going on there. There could be turnarounds going on in there in either the area of work or health. You've got to get right down to the layers, the deep layers of what's going on. If you are feeling squeezed or undervalued, or you're undervaluing yourself very likely, in order to have got yourself into that position in the first place, then if you are feeling held back, then you need to get drill right down to what it is that is hobbling you and holding you back. And often, you know, we've got our own hands around our own neck, and we didn't know it. Oh, right, that was a habit. I should have stopped doing that a long time ago, you know. Time's a wasting, you know, I've got a life to live here. It might be a little bit like that, and yet, on the other hand, we don't see it like that. We see it as it's them out there, you know, it's my situation. So it's drilling down, it's just scraping off the layers, and then, you know, and then you get to it. And once you get to that truth of what's going on, and what it is about you that you can really benefit from and enjoy, that's when you hit your power. So that if that's in the area of the work, that's fine. If it's in the area of the health as well, which is holding you back, that's also fantastic. No papering over the cracks when Pluto's around. And this is the area that Pluto's in. So those of you born 8 to 10th of August, or with 16 to 18 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most at the moment. But the whole sign will feel this, because it's such a long transit. It's there to 2024. And that's it. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also, this material is written up on DianaGarland.com. So if you want to check anything out, and I'll see you the next time.